Yeah, hey everyone. Basically, I'm just going to explain TestQL to you today. So, it's an open source piece of software that I've developed for testing SQL in GitHub. So, if you've ever used GitHub Actions before, it's fairly straightforward, but it does involve creating a workflow file. You've also got to create some unit tests. So to simplify the process, I've created this tool. Basically, it's currently available on Windows. I'm getting there for a Linux version. So basically, what we want to do is we want to launch terminal, clone the repository, give it a quick second. Yep, there we go. All right. So basically, when we open the folder, we'll find a bunch of stuff in here. This is our main Python file. That's where all the logic happens. This is our config file. This is where all the fragments of our workflow and our unit tests and whatnot are. So our Python actually dynamically constructs this at runtime to build your workflow file. So anyway, enough of that. We're going to build it for now. Run as administrator. That's pretty important because it needs to be able to add to the path. So let it go for a second. It'll do its thing. It'll pause at the end too, so we know that it's done it correctly, rather than just closing the terminal. Sorry for the, there we go. All right, fantastic. So that's built. We should have TestQL application here. All right, so what we want to do now is we want to go, I'm just going to make a folder here. It doesn't really matter. This is going to be your Git repo. So probably not the best name for a local repo folder, but this is where your SQL and stuff is going to be. So imagine this is a blank new Git repository folder. So we're going to launch terminal, and we're going to say TestQL init engine, and we're just going to go with Postgres for now. You can type in PG, Postgres, there's a few options. You'll be able to set in the source code if you want to have a look. Um, all right, fantastic. So we've got a few things printed here by the tool at the moment. Ignore all of this. This is just mess, early stages of development. So basically, we've got our Postgres test in here. So what we'll see is we've got all the connections set up. We've got setup, teardown class, which closes up your database. This is a generic part that will work for any database engine to execute the SQL files, and this is where your actual unit tests go. So at the moment, we're just passed, but we can say assert true, execute SQL file. So this basically going to use this function to execute the SQL file and check that it's true. Now, this is just a really simple test. You can decide what actually needs to be tested for your SQL files. But that's the basic rundown on how this tool actually sets up your folders. So sorry about my crazy folder structure going on over here. The last thing that I would like to talk about here is I've just provided another repository. Here it is. So multi-language. So basically what this one is this is what inspired it all. I was trying to write some procedural stuff in a couple of languages, and it was kind of cumbersome to keep rewriting everything. So I decided to create a tool. So basically what we've got here, we've got a test, the test folder, sorry, and these are all of our tests. We've got our workflow, which is going to be in there, obviously. What I really came here to show you is the actions. So we'll go to actions tab, sorry. So I've got a bunch of actions in here, which we can click into. So these are, I've added a pull request stage, which you can ignore for now because I've done that manually without the tool. But basically what we'll see is all of the steps that are in that generated workflow here. So we're in TSQL at the moment, but we were looking at Postgres before. So we run the Postgres container. Fantastic. She's running. Install dependencies, set up your Python, run the tests. So this is targeting Postgres PLSQL tests. Fantastic. That's about all that you really need to know at the moment for using TestQL. So thank you. Cheers.